for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was kind of ready. I don't know. I'm not really ready. Like, freaking, I'm still eating. But I was having trouble with the camera, so I started even later than I would normally have. I see Salim is going crazy here. Oh, I'm only training. You know what? You're kind of being a little... Hey, I'll need you to calm down just a little bit. Philly Beats for you. Welcome. How are you? Well, let's go to the charts. Okay, here we are. Oh, that's not what I want to look at. I want to look at the E-mini. Okay, so the E-mini had a pretty crazy rally on Friday. I mean, the sellers tried really hard there at the beginning, but they did not get much out of it. It turned into a rally, and now everything has just completely flipped again. So as it was that we had like a super crazy down sentiment and everybody was going short, and now all of a sudden it's like a game on again. At least for now, pretty big move overnight. Treasuries coming back a little bit, but still within the range and not doing much of anything. And I want to trade treasuries, I really do, but they're just not the best instrument right now. Oil experiencing a little bit of boost from the risk sentiment, but still not quite going along. So here's where I would, kind of put a little bit of brakes on the just buy everything reflation trade taking hold again. I think that we were way oversold in the E-mini there, but some of these commodities, let's see here, copper, not really taking off either. Some of these commodities are kind of not there yet. Now that they come back up and then like game on, but I kind of want to see what they're going to do first. Gold continues to just be down there, although it is picking up a little bit of an up move too. So maybe reflation, everything maybe, but as of yet, not clear. So here's the thing: we're getting end of month flows here still, so that's a huge factor right now. And we have a presidential debate tomorrow night, which we're gonna be something. I think I should eat my food a little bit. I know that I'm like, for those of you watching on replay, this is gonna like really screw things up. Just keep watching. I'd be really fast. 2 minutes. Keep watching. It will be. Oh yeah, and let's turn on the text to speech here. Show us this. You know what? I've actually haven't had anything recently, so I'm doing pretty good. Pretty happy. I'm starting to wonder if it was a face lotion that I was using. So kind of doing this, and then I'm going to do an experiment next week and see if I get any. So it's getting them pretty bad. And in places I don't normally get them. Like here, I was like, what? Did you pimple here? That was so awful. Looking more clean than my account. Yeah. Okay. There's the text to speech. I'll turn it on so you can all hear all the crazy things Salim is saying.
Salim L. Wuthering says wish you good luck, Seth. I am in my boring teaching jobs again. Philly Beats You says so thought on short entry 3,355.25 on MES, or is it bad to do that on an uptrending market? Salim L. Weathering says, what are you eating?
Well, I'm eating. Oh, hold on. There's Winston. How are you? You know
Winston's
what?
mom says, good morning, and what's with all the pimple talk? Lol, I am looking at the chat and as Monday's theme, the pimple.
I hope not. Salim's just trying to be a jerk, but that's okay. I can take it in good humor. So Philly, I think that if you have to ask me that question, you probably shouldn't do it. Like, honestly. So, we're going to get into this a lot today, I think. Hold on. Squawk. Like an edge means that you have a competitive advantage over everybody else. So if you have to ask other people whether you should make a trade, then do you have edge? No. And ergo, probably you shouldn't be trading because you're likely to just lose money.
Salim L. Weathering says, if it ain't cheese, it ain't food.
I've got some Monterey Jack cheese on it. Hearings, Brexit stuff. It doesn't sound like anything anybody cares about, though. Okay. Anyways, now here's the thing that I've been thinking about, and the reason why I think we're going to be talking about it quite a bit in the near future is that on one hand, you need to have edge, so you can't just follow other people. But on the other hand, I have discovered you can't do this all on your own, right? For instance, you're not going to write your own platform. You're not going to write your own data feed. You're not all of these things. You're not going to get your own news squawk service. Like we rely on other people to get things that we need to build our edge with. So it's a collaborative thing. We need to work together to develop an edge together. But then each one of you needs to have an edge over the rest of the market. That's our goal here, right? So help you guys develop your edge because you can't do it on your own. But I don't want you guys to just follow me, because if all you were doing was just following me, well then you wouldn't. I don't know if that would do so great. As I did pretty
Salim
awful
L.
last
Weathering
Monday.
says, no.
So
You look good. You look hot. Just a little undertanned.
I'm a little undertanned, aren't I? Well, I've been in. I took a walk yesterday, but I've been inside lately. Anyways, as for whether you would want to fade a uptrending market and everything, I mean, 32.55 is pretty far away. So if we were to get there, I'm a little hesitant about making a call about what will happen there, because that's kind of a potential decision point at which we don't really know what's going to happen. So here's the thing. If you think it's going to go up there to 32.55, why aren't you just going long now and taking your profit up there? That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment.
Winston's mom
think that
says,
they're
I
gonna
swept my
test
deck this
this
morning
area.
and wondered if we would have neighborhood barbecues anytime soon.
Oh, I wish. I'm trying to refine my barbecue skills. You got any good barbecue recipes for me to try? I am down. I want to do a pork butt next weekend. So we need good sides to go along with that. Not mac and cheese. I did mac and cheese last time. And I think I got a pretty good mac and cheese. So I need to spend it developing other stuff.
Salim L. Weathering says, your edge, Seth, is the news, but you don't focus enough on it.
I think that I have multiple edges, and news is definitely one of them. Right. I also think that I have an edge in the programming that I have. Right. So this model that I've written.
Winston's mom says, I have a very simple one. You mix soy sauce with pineapple juice and then marinate the pork roast and grill it in the pineapple slices on the grill.
I'm going to smoke it. I'm going to smoke a pork roast. Doing it with pineapple, though, does sound good. I'm not a huge fan of pineapple, except for when it's with teriyaki. Oh man, pineapple on pizza, abomination. I am the I run a subreddit whose whole thing is that pineapple on pizza is wrong. So, man. Oh, there's something else I want to get into, but I should eat before I go on a big long rant. Like
Salim L. Weathering says what you can't have all the edges, Seth. You need to choose one and probably combine it with programming.
oh no, you need all of
Winston's
them.
mom
Need all
says my family was never really fond of veggies, so I offered fruit and I always grill fruit when we barbecue.
Oh, there you go. Salim, the thing is that a lot of things maybe they aren't edge, but they're base, right? And they just get you to even. But you need to have everything. The market is really complicated. To have an advantage over everybody else in something that's so competitive, you really need to do all of the above. Okay, so let's finish this bagel.
Philly Beats You says institution edge game is too strong. Winston's mom says, are you still planning to livestream during the debate tomorrow? Salim L. Weathering says HHHHHH. You are an edge colonizer. You want to acquire all the edges. HHH.
Having money is definitely an edge. Yeah, we're gonna stream tomorrow. Here in a second, I think we're gonna talk about preview going into the debate because there's definitely a stage set here that it seems like people aren't really fully aware of. Should have gone into that.
Winston's mom says, clip speculator Seth will live stream tomorrow night.
Hold on.
Philly Beats You says I am scared to watch that debate. Pure chaos. Salim L. Weathering says that looks tasty. Don't hide it. Food porn. Salim L. Weathering says God bless you. Anthony K. says good morning everyone. Winston's mom says, did you see the tax returns article the NYT's uncovered? The president is saying, fake news. What do you all think about this?
Hold on.
Winston's mom says, while we all, hold on, and while speculator Seth noms his bagel, will everyone, all you traders gonna trade, please hit the like button. Thank you. Uzi Knesset says you're welcome. Uzi Knesset says mukbang plus futures trading. Hybrid genres. Brain time. Salim L. Wuthering says I would rather eat bagel than stay hungry. Philly Beats You says, by the way, Seth's still fairly new to trading, so I get what you meant by the edge. Thanks. Also, riding into a zone you're confident of makes sense.
I got you, Philly. I don't mean to beat you. I'm kind of detecting you new, and so I'm just. This is like the one thing. If I could tell you anything, this is the one thing. Trading is competitive. That's number one thing.
Winston's mom says a mukbang is an online audiovisual broadcast in which a host consumes large quantities of food while interacting with the audience. It became popular in South Korea around 2010. Uzi Knesset says, who wouldn't want to watch a guy risk mortgage payments while PPLOing away 10,000 calories worth of exotic seafood, paper? Salim L. Wuthering says that's the subtlest way to tell you got fat, Seth. Why Trader says hey guys. Salim L. Weathering says nah. You Seth got some margin of error. Salim L. Weathering says still asterisk.
Okay, so clip this to start of this. Here, I'll do it. In fact, I think I'm just going to try recording this.
Speculator Seth Day Trading says, clap rant start.
Oh, I didn't say clap. I meant to say clip. Clip unknown command clap. Okay. Okay, so now that we got that whole eating thing out of the way, let's talk about the debate, right? Okay, let's talk about the debate because this is a pretty big event. I'm hyper excited. There's nothing that I love more than debates. I am going to live stream the debate. I believe that because it's going to be a public debate that I'm going to be able to share the audio with you, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to be looking for into the debate is the way that different people are telegraphing. Okay. So I think the first thing that we should talk about is the New York Times article that Win mentioned here. So the New York Times published an article where they have like 10 plus years of President Trump's tax returns. Now, of course, liberals are going to be pushing this really, really hard. The first thing that I would say about this is that there's nothing new in this information. Like, we knew that Donald Trump had lost a lot of money from his losses in Mar-a-Lago and probably wasn't paying a whole lot of taxes. At least if you've been in the know in the political circles, you knew this. And there was nothing like unknown ties to Russians in those tax returns or anything like that. So the story is actually kind of a bit of a dud. But you are going to see they're going to try and push it in the debate. I mean, make no mistake that it's published on the eve of the debate, right? So they're going to try and push them. Donald Trump right now is saying it's fake news, which I mean, maybe it is. I don't really know, but I'm going to venture to say that the report is true. So there's kind of a risk there for starters, all right? Like, how does Donald Trump play that one? Because can he just say, that's fake news, and then Joe Biden will say, well, what about it is wrong? And I don't know. This is just an argument that's going to detract from what you're trying to do. So I would expect Joe Biden to try and push that report during the debates, and we'll see if it knocks Trump off his foot or not. In the long run, though, I'm not too sure that that's going to have an appreciable impact. I think pretty much everybody now either knows what Donald Trump's tax returns are like or doesn't care, right? Okay, so the next thing is what are they kind of telegraphing going into the debate? Okay, like what is their game plan? And it seems very clear that Joe Biden's game plan is Trump, Trump, Trump. So, for instance, last night he was taking some heat on Twitter for basically calling Donald Trump Joseph Goebbels, like calling him a Nazi and, comparing him to Nazi leaders. That's the way that they're going to go. It's going to be Donald Trump, the orange man bad all the time. I mean, that's been the strategy from the start. I expect Joe Biden to be going on that 100%, right? Now, what is Donald Trump's strategy? And I see his goals, what he's trying to accomplish in the debate is threefold. Number one, and I think that the order of these may surprise you, but number one is Joe Biden is senile. Okay. That's the one he's pushing. He's saying that there should be a drug test. He's willing to take a drug test. He's saying that Joe Biden's not going to. I don't know how you bring that up in a debate, but I think he will because he's pushing that pretty hard right now, right? So that's the first one, okay? Is Joe Biden is senile, okay? The next one, and probably the most important one, but it's not the one that he's using the most just here going into it, but is he is going to try and increase his support among Black Americans and Latinos. Okay, so he released after doing the whole Supreme Court thing. He announcing his Supreme Court pick. He went into a plan that he has to help Black Americans, and it's a pretty there's a lot of stuff in this plan. Okay, and it looks like it'd be very beneficial to Black Americans, and it's going to have an appreciable impact, especially if he gets a lot of time to talk about it at the debates. Because the argument that he's going to make is that Joe Biden says that I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. That's he's going to hit that hard, and he's going to say, what have Democrats ever done for you guys? And here's what I have done, and here's what I'm continuing to do, and here's what I'm going to do when I get elected to, right? Reelected, rather. Okay. So he is going for this is a high risk play. Okay. How many Black people can you actually get to vote for him? But I think you might be surprised. And they wouldn't be doing this unless they had at least some statistical support to say that if they win, then that they'll get it. Okay. So that's the next thing. And then the last one is going to be that Joe Biden is the Marxist candidate. I don't know. This one is going to be really hard to pin on him because, there's certainly all of this chaos and anarchy and so forth have hurt Democrats because Democrats are practically cheering it on and the mayors have been helping it. And so he's definitely going to push that. But can you actually pin it on Joe Biden? I don't know. But who knows how it turns out in the debate, right? This is one of those big wild cards. I think that is going to come up. If Donald Trump can hit him on it and get Biden to give a milquetoast response to it, then it could really hurt Biden, okay? So there's a possibility there as well. Also, I want to say on the whole, like Donald Trump's taxes thing, Donald Trump could turn that around and turn it into talking about the tax policies that Joe Biden is pushing, because some of the tax policies that Joe Biden has endorsed are really quite startling. Okay. We've been talking about this, or I kind of have a discussion going on in Discord that we need to finish, but there is Joe Biden is like going to double the capital gains tax. Like, I need to dig into this a little bit more, but this could mess us up. This could like completely ruin one of the main reasons to trade futures, which is the favorable tax treatments, right? I mean, there's still the day trade rule too, but I mean, come on. If you're going to have all of it taxed as regular income, whether you're day trading or not, because the capital gains tax is as high as your regular income tax, that's going to mess up markets, right? And for you and me, maybe it's not a huge deal because we're so small, but any fund, any of these hedge funds, all these guys, that's going to impact them hardcore, and that's a lot of money that's going to have to come out of the market. So that is a huge point that they could argue over, that I think Joe Biden would look really poor in, because I don't think that he really understands his tax plan very well, and it's very bad for American businesses. And so if Donald Trump can turn it into that, then it could be a positive, right? And then the last thing is the Supreme Court thing. So Joe Biden is going to try and portray the Supreme Court pick as an attack on abortion rights. And, honestly, it is an attack on abortion rights. I mean, they're putting it in there to they want abortion overturned. And whether you agree with that or not, I think that's the way that they're going. I'm not so sure that it would be they would just straight up overturn it. I think that it would be a more gradual thing. Like the Supreme Court would uphold a late term abortion ban or something like that would be the first step, right? And then you kind of go from there. So, how does that play at the debate? I don't know, because here's a real risk. There's a real risk for Joe Biden here on this because Joe Biden kind of needs some of that evangelical support, right? He needs some of that religious support. If he goes hardcore or he goes hardcore pro-abortion and anti-Catholic religious everything, which is how you would play that fight, or at least how the liberals are playing that fight, it doesn't bode well for their electoral prospects. And as Uzi is saying in here, like with the black vote, if Donald Trump is just able to, through the debate, sway 1% to 2% more of the black vote, that's like really bad for Joe Biden. And it's the same thing that if that religious vote went 1% to 2% more towards Biden, that'd be really bad for Donald Trump. So that's pretty, yeah. That's kind of the, so that's the debate preview. In terms of how it affects markets, this is very much like a Federal Reserve speech because it's hard to have an edge in a situation like that, right? So when we have news normally, one thing is that a lot of the market doesn't get that news, or they don't try and trade news, they don't care, or they just don't understand how that news impacts things. And especially when some of these economics numbers that we get out are really complicated and nuanced, and the market doesn't never reacts right away. But when it's a presidential debate, some of these things can have a direct and immediate impact. And all of those technical traders are going to know that the thing that's moving the markets is the debate. So they're not going to want to be in the market. So what you're going to get during the trading is a very illiquid market that can move on almost anything, but overall is slow and choppy. So I don't think they would be very good trading for us. It'll probably be way better trading. You want to save that kind of like YOLO money for the election night. But so that's kind of what we're looking for. I will be streaming it. Hopefully I'll be able to stream the audio. Otherwise, it'll just be me talking, and you can get the audio through a different stream. We'll be having a party here. And yeah. So that's it. I will see you guys on Tuesday for that. Okay. So I made that a video. Hope we can upload that later. Now I can go back to arguing with this guy on the Discord. Let's see here. What's Uzi saying here?
Uzi Knesset says I was making the case yesterday to a longtime friend, neighbor, and Democrat that they need to eat 4 more years of Trump if they ever want to see a quality progressive populist candidate.
Oh, man.
Uzi Knesset says if they go with Biden, then the system they hate so much will just stay the same. They don't understand. It isn't about Trump as a person or president. It's about what his presidency changes.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing that's so interesting about Donald Trump's presidency, isn't it? Is that the argument in favor of him was that he's a business guy and he's the wolf in the hen house and he's going to take care of those things. Has he actually done that? I'm going to argue no. In my opinion, I don't think that he has done any of those things. But instead, he has kind of turned into this bulwark against a lot of other things that people want to do in this country that I am extremely opposed to. Like, all this Marxist nonsense. And it's kind of turned into like he's the only person between us and oblivion. Strangely enough. This argument that so I can see Jacko in Discord is saying, I'm just sick of Trump and I want to get rid of him, man. You always got to be careful with that line of thinking, man, because you think that Donald Trump is bad. Trust me, it can be so much worse. Okay, you could have somebody just as incompetent as Donald Trump, but that is not willing to stand up for the things that are right and just allow Marxists to take over, aka Joe Biden. Okay, so it can be worse. And there's also an issue with what you're saying, Uzi, because you're saying that in order to get a good progressive candidate, they have to eat 4 more years of Trump. The problem is that the far left has become so radical. There aren't true liberals in the Democrat Party anymore. And when I say true liberals, I mean like liberals in a classical sense. There was there was a lot of classical liberals in the Democrat Party, and they are basically getting booted out of the Democrat Party. And I believe that in order for the Democrat Party to really be a viable party long term, that's the direction that they have to go, and they're going the complete opposite. And so even if they waited 4 more years for Trump, I don't think that it would affect them. So the thing is the question then becomes, what has to happen to pop the bubble, right? Because there's a bubble for sure, where there's a lot of things that some liberal people believe right now that are just not in line with reality, and they think that it's all Donald Trump, So if this continues on, then they are allowed to well, not allowed, but they can basically continue to live in that reality for another 4 years. And then it would take somebody else, after they get spanked by like 2, maybe 1 or 2 other Republican presidents, then maybe they would take a step back and say, oh, hey, maybe this Marxist stuff isn't working. You know what I mean? And then maybe you could get a good progressive candidate, So I think it's way worse than that, Uzi. I really think that the Democrat Party is a shell of its former self. If there were anything like the Kennedy Democrat Party, then they would be killing it right now. But Gary Rich, the Senate is key regardless who wins the presidency. The Senate will not allow these progressive policies to pass. Okay, good question. So let's go and look at that, because last time I checked, we were in safe territory, right? But it might not be. Oops. Polls. Oops, that's not what I wanted at all. I want Senate polls. Okay. Oh wait, no. There's got to be. I know that they've got a. No. Election. Oh, here we go. RCP Senate map. Okay, so there are 8 toss-ups, and they're all Republicans. That's right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's where the problem is that it could swing. And I don't know, polling wise, like McSally is down, right? Let's see here. Collins. See, like McSally and Collins for sure. And then isn't there a Colorado one? Gardner? So this one leans Dem. Oh, it's already gone. Yeah. So, ooh.
Uzi Knesset says they're setting the stage for a contested election, right? Biden is obviously not trying to win.
Okay, but what if it doesn't end up being a contested election? Like,
Sunday Driver says progressive are making the mistake of not dealing with Trump. He'd cut deals with them and happily cut Pelosi in two.
I agree. Like they really should have passed the stimulus. Like Pelosi holding back on this stimulus is absolutely crazy.
Uzi Knesset says the universal mail-in ballot schemes are intended to gum up the system. If all of them aren't counted and any of them are disqualified, the election will be contested. Uzi Knesset says by one side or the other.
We'll see. The thing is that I know that we've got this scenario and that it's possible. This doesn't mean that it's absolutely going to happen. Okay, there's a certain possibility of it happening, and I don't actively know what the possibility of it is happening. The thing is that there's also a possibility of a Democrat route where the Democrats control the Senate and the House and everything. And here's the thing, Gary, is that let's say that the Democrats just have like a really narrow majority in the Senate, like the Republicans had. Okay, they could just get rid of the filibuster. Like, I really don't know if we really do have a protection against some of these more liberal policies. Like, could the Republicans prevent a doubling of the capital gains tax? I'm not so sure, dude. If the Democrats had a 51, 52, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little scary. But for the purposes of discussion and argument, that he's literally talking about doubling the capital gains taxes, I think is significant. Right? Like, for us, that's potentially game changing. Is it not? If the capital gains tax was doubled, and think about anybody that's starting a business and is going to go public. Oh my gosh, are you going to give 40% of your business up in taxes? Like, that is crazy.
Gary Rich says they will not double the cap gains THSTSF. Stupid time even believe.
Maybe. But that's what they're pushing. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's see if it comes up tomorrow. Okay. Because here's the thing that I see happening. Donald Trump didn't pay anything in taxes. Then Donald Trump will say, well, you don't know anything about taxes because I lost money because of something that was outside of my control. That Atlantic City went under, and you can't expect me to pay taxes on money that I lost. And you want to do all of these other things like double the capital gains tax. This is why we shouldn't elect Joe Biden. Like, this is why it matters. This is the line that I think you're going down. So it's like they were pointing out here in Discord. A lot of Wall Street is supporting Joe Biden because they're Democrats. And I don't think these guys realize the impact of the things that they're proposing. Hold on, Gary here.
Gary Rich says 5 battleground states will decide this election. Stop believing the BS polls. They are skewed and cherry-picked.
Well, okay, so we've talked about the polls before, but let's talk about the polls again. So, battleground polls are likely to be skewed because you've got two major things. One is that the turnout in this election is going to be incredibly different because of early voting and because a lot of people are going to be energized and because a lot of people have moved, frankly. So what the turnouts are actually going to be in these places is, as I think, very questionable. And the probability of the turnout models being anywhere close to what it's actually going to be on election day is, I think, incredibly low. Maybe it will get more accurate as we get closer to the election, but I think that it's incredibly low. There's also this impact that something like, a quarter of Donald Trump supporters are lying to the pollsters about who they're going to elect. So I think that you could try and handicap the poll and say that Donald Trump is actually up 2% more than where he is. That still makes it really close. Okay. Now, on individual races, this is where it gets a little interesting because I didn't notice that. I didn't try to go through and say, oh, all 8 of those are going to go in the Republicans' direction. Okay. I can tell you, I'm pretty confident that McSally is going to lose. I would want to see it coming up closer to the election, but when you look at McSally, this is like I don't know. ABC Washington Post poll going to 920, which was the last week. She's only down by 1. So maybe it has come back and it's not as dire as it seems, but I'm not so sure that Arizona is fertile ground anymore for Republicans. So that's kind of the one where I'm like the most concerned. And, it's just like the problem that you got here is when you look at the toss-ups, there's only one Democrat. Peters in Michigan. Well, he's up, but that one's still fairly close. So I don't know if the Republicans can pick one up and then they lose a few. They lose 1 or 2 of them. The Democrats could control the Senate. Then the Democrats could remove the filibuster. They could do all sorts of crazy things like that. But then there's also the case where, say the debate goes really badly for Donald Trump tomorrow, and the Democrats just absolutely sweep in an election. Is there a possibility that the Democrats could basically get a 60% majority or close enough to it to pass something like a doubling of the capital gains tax? I think it's very much a possibility now. Much more a possibility than I thought before. Because I agree with you to an extent that at least with Joe Biden, I don't think Joe Biden really believes any of this shit. I think that he's just going along with what Bernie tells him. Like, to be honest. But then the problem is then Joe Biden won't be in control. The far left will be in control. The people in the Senate will push whatever. And Nancy Pelosi absolutely would do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. Okay, so what was Winston?
Winston's mom says, speculator Seth, have you listened to Rep. Katie Porter from CA? She is a law professor and an attorney and one super smart lady. She has that teacher's manner that makes one sit up and listen. Uzi Knesset says Dems are gonna keep the Senate. Pelosi is their Hail Mary. Uzi Knesset says sorry House.
So now this is like, if we look at it the other way around, here's where it's like, the thing that I find so interesting about this is the variability that's in here. Because if you just flip that the other way, Republicans keep all of these seats, so they lose. Well, I don't think that they're going to keep Collins and McSally, but, so maybe the Democrats are up by one seat in the Senate. In the House, let's go here. House map. Okay. Republicans, there's so many Democrats up here. I don't know how likely they are, but I mean, look at how many D's are up in toss-ups. So Republicans could improve their standing in the House. And like we said, it could totally go Donald Trump's way. Like, honestly, if say Donald Trump has a good debate tonight, let's say that Joe Biden has an aneurysm on stage tomorrow night. Okay, like a stroke, a brain stroke tomorrow night. Okay, Donald Trump could just absolutely crush it, and then they would increase their standing in the House. They could at least defend their standing in the Senate. And then I think that the midterms are actually look pretty good for Republicans. Could go either way. Well, that's where I was saying it's like, the problem that we have right now as traders is that the government has become such a large player in the markets that what happens with the government is like the only thing that matters to some extent. Hearing these people say, well, Joe Biden's not going to do any of that, I really don't buy that. And if Joe Biden doesn't do any of that, then it's the next guy. Like, come on. You think that they're just going to give up? Especially if Joe Biden wins? No, they're just going to use that to extend their tentacles and make it more likely the next time around. Right?
Live Action says Biden has a problem with 9 minutes, let alone 90. Gary Rich says the markets like gov policies, free.
Yep. And it is sounding like another stimulus could be coming. I think that that's a big part of behind why we're getting that rally. Like on Thursday, I thought, hey, we got stimulus, should have moved up. For whatever reason, that died down at the end. I think that we had traders that were just a little bit too bearish. And then on Friday, they retraced that. They finally, I think they got what they wanted. I don't know. I believe that some of this upturn is probably, increasing chances of stimulus. But we'll see if she actually pulls it off. Because I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of Nancy Pelosi. That's all. Marketeer says that it's crowded in the bear pit. That's interesting because it just doesn't look like, man. Oh, by the way, Anthony, I saw that you followed me on Twitter on Friday, and I was like, oh yes, there's Anthony. Good deal. I wanted you to know that I noticed that. It's going to be interesting. The funny thing would be that the debate ends up not mattering. I mean, that's probably the most likely case. But I get so excited about debates. I love
Live Action
debates.
says what driving this bull move in markets?
I think that it's because of a stimulus. That and we were really oversold. Like coming in on Thursday and Friday, there was some real bears and they like really overextended themselves going for it too. So now at the moment, the bulls from overnight are crazy overextended, but it's overnight action, so it's not. I don't know how much it matters. I don't know if I really have a good trade here, to be honest, today. Between you get an end of month flow and a debate tomorrow, and it's a Monday, and look, the open is really lackluster here. Yeah, I just don't see a good setup here. Noticing that these guys on the inside here aren't stacked very well.
Live Action says just grab 2 points.
Well, he never turned the robots on.
Gary Rich says a stimulus will happen. Fed chairman even pushed this narrative. It will be $2 trillion. End of October some programs will expire like evicting renters. Think about it.
Well, but the question is, Gary, is how do they pass it before they're supposed to go out on vacation? Because they only have like a week left, right? I don't know. It's a little. I don't think it's that they don't want to pass it. I absolutely think they want to pass it. You know what? Something's wrong here, and I'm wondering. No, that's fine. Still haven't decided what we want to do with this space, and when I look over here, I'm like, oh, that's so bad. Ew. Well, the overall market delta is long here by a significant amount. I'm having a hard time telling what's going on here. If there's some massive shorts here or not, or if it's just not deciding to go.
RJ Wheel says the Fed can't raise interest rates. Trump can't pay his debt interest. Gary Rich says it's a game of political chicken. We have 30 or so days to get it done.
No, I think they've got to do it now, or it won't happen before the election.
Uzi Knesset says wow 400 plus on offer in YM at 27,475.
Oh, really?
Uzi Knesset says not used to CNM that big.
I have to say, so something that I'm looking at here. Let me. I don't know how to show it to you because even if I moved it over here, it would be like the numbers would be too tiny. But I have a market depth tape that I've written that kind of shows me a little bit of summary of stats on some of
RJ
these
Wheels says I don't know where the other 399,999 came from.
And I'm noticing that the minimum on most of these is like in the 80s or so. Actually was 60s, 70s before, but now it's thickened back up a bit. And the maxes were quite a bit higher. So like, yeah, like in some of these areas it's still 60.
RJ
and the
Wheels
max
says
is 120.
399 I meant. Got carried away.
So there's a decent amount of liquidity that is moving around and isn't sure that it wants to get filled up here. But that could just mean that they're waiting for a signal. Like if they break a new high here, maybe yeah, okay, so that is a new high. Well, there wasn't a lot of stops there, but it could certainly continue. Yeah, see, I'm not detecting a lot of iceberging up there. It seems like they're not going because they're just not forceful enough. Overall, they're buying, but it's like the buyers aren't that enthusiastic about it. What do you think? Zero Hedge says the 10-year almost moved today. Well, they did come up. They're still kind of in a middle zone, though. Donald Trump considered picking his daughter Ivanka as his 2016 presidential vice presidential pick, according to a book by former campaign aide.
Live Action says, Uzi, curious thing you bring up. I recently was reviewing trading ladders and noticed multiple high 100 blocks trade at price with only 200 on average there in depth.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, they gave that run up already. I think they're going to turn bear here. I'm going to try a YOLO trade here. I'm going to put equal risk reward on it. So they're going into the lows. I don't know if it's the possibility of it careening down there is a little bit too much for me to want to just have the orders sitting out there. So okay, so there is a little bit of absorption on the downside, but they're pushing. They just touched the low there and bounced. There it is again. Okay, somebody stopped out there, I think. Okay, so there's a lot of volume that was long going on this. If we just completely turn around, that could be something else. I don't know. Thing is, that was a pretty good rush there. I don't know how much of that was somebody stopping out and how much of that was somebody trying to trigger everybody. The volume's not all out. I do feel like that the Bulls definitely had things easily on their side and fizzled out really disappointingly.
Uzi Knesset says, breaking news, Washington Post endorses Joe Biden. Holy shit, I never would's thought lol.
Right? Oh my gosh. I tell you what, I had no clue the history behind the Washington Post. Like it used to be that on what is the military academy? Oh my gosh, I feel so stupid right now. My brain's just not working, I guess. I was thinking about programming this morning, but I don't know. My brain seems gone. West Point, that's right. It used to be that at West Point, they could stop you, and you had to know all of the headlines from the Washington Post, because that was the newspaper that they read. And to me, the Washington Post is just a joke. Their political bias is so crazy. I can't believe that would be the newspaper that the military would like to read. You know? Okay, so the Bears had their chance, and that kind of fizzled out quickly too.
Uzi Knesset says breaking news. Every newspaper in America endorses Joe Biden lol.
Probably most of them will, yeah. There's been a couple of really out there endorsements of Donald Trump, though. Like all of those police unions and stuff endorsing Donald Trump. I think that was really
Gary Rich says I'm making a prediction. Third week 12 to 16 of October will see VIX jump. Massive earnings reporting the following week data will be soft on rock and option expiry. Fun.
What do you mean by rock? Return on capital? You mean return on capital, Gary? Oh, you know what? Well, I got you, Gary. I got a question.
Gary Rich says rate of change.
Oh, okay. I'm going to open up some stocks here. Oh, Tesla is higher again today. What a freaking joke. I don't think that one's ever going to come back to reality, man. Okay. So, you know what? We should do it like this. Okay. Sure. Okay. So, I want to know what do you think about these IPOs? Because I'm interested in Sumo. And well, let me scroll it out a little bit more. Let's have it show us like 1 month, I think, is at least what we need to. Okay, there we go. Yeah. 1 month. Okay, so we know that Snow IPO'd up pretty big and then went down. Okay, down towards the lower end. Here is Sumo again, and the lower end of that was 24 or so. So I kind of thought, okay, 24 would maybe be a spot where it would hold, but you can see there that on that day, they're kind of pushing up into it and kind of fell down into this 22 range now. So, is it that there's just some problems? Like, for instance, I know that Sumo, they're not turning a profit right now. Of course not. They're spending way too much on marketing. I think they have a really solid business. I really like their product, and I think that it's something that's it's a service, and it's so there could be a lot of upside to it. But the market doesn't seem to think that at the moment. So I'm wondering, should we be reading something into the wider the IPO market not doing very well despite the bounce on Friday? Should we be reading more into that, or is it just those companies? Because I was surprised and disappointed at how poorly Sumo has been trading since it IPO'd. Not that I was able to get in on the IPO or anything. Well, I bailed on that one. They moved up quite a bit. Oh man, did I bail up almost up at the top? I thought it went way further than that. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Gary Rich says I heard Kamala blew all the newspapers to get them to endorse Biden. I can't confirm nor deny. Twitter told me.
I'm still seeing quite a bit of divergences. It's probably an awful spot to get in.
Salim L. Wuthering says that Gary Rich Uzi said you look like a dog.
Yeah.
Gary Rich says the rush of IPOs came about via SPACs. It's been all over the Fin news.
Okay, that's true. The special purpose acquisition vehicles. So do you think with all that gone that they're just screwed? But you don't think that it means anything to the larger market? Because I was kind of wondering, like, we had a huge tech rally on Friday. Why didn't these names participate? Why didn't these IPOs participate? Saying that the overall outlook for the IPOs is poor because of the SPACs not turning out the way that they wanted, then I guess that maybe that makes sense. Okay, so rush of buy volume come in there. Hearing some stuff from the ECB here at the moment. Okay, so it's not looking so good for bulls right now. I haven't touched those lows
Salim
yet.
L. Wuthering says if I had money, I would buy a shelter in a forest in a van. Bribe the police and slaughter all my childhood bullies. I would buy weed too.
That doesn't sound like something you should be admitting online.
Gary Rich says each IPO is different. Have to read their filings to hold long term. Unless it's a quick scalp, who knows? I do know Robinhood loves Blue Horseshoe IPOs.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it because, so here's the issue, is I like the company itself. I like the product a lot. When you're looking at it from a valuation perspective, you can't really vet because they're not making money yet. So you can't like use earnings per share or anything like that to value them, right? Yeah. And it is like an IPO, so it's tough. And I've never really watched IPOs before, so I'm not quite sure what it means if they go below the IPO price. Does that mean it's a failed IPO and nobody wants to touch it now?
Wuthering says, "Oh my God, you are right."
So I'm just kind of watching it and learning, I guess. Okay, so they broke the lows again. I guess we'll see if they try and retrace this thing down to 32.16. It looks like a really big gap, but it's really not. They could clear that easily. Arkansas man found 9-carat diamond at the center of Diamond State Park. Wow, really? That's crazy. I want to go look for diamonds. Okay, so there's an iceberg at 24.25. And that kind of looks like somebody hitting.
Vlad Stolyarov says 3,333 should have been of struggle to just rally over. Gary Rich says TSLA, Netflix, Zoom, etc., don't make money. It's all about Momo, not value.
Well, if that's the case, then I would think that those IPOs would still be in high demand, but they're just not. I guess it doesn't take a whole lot to stop momentum, does it? It's kind of funny, like it seems like sometimes, when you're against it, the momentum will just never stop. But then when you try and go with it, it turns on a dime.
/potential.
Sure. I think they're going to get a lot of market share. I don't know. I'll have to look at it a little bit more and think about it. We use them where I work, and I would probably be pushing to use it everywhere because it's so especially with everything going into the cloud
Rich
and everything.
Says, wow, no one got that blue horseshoe reference from Wall Street.
Yeah, I don't.
Man, I'm old.
I haven't seen the first one, to be honest with you. I haven't, in this streaming world, was not available for streaming. Yesterday, I finally found Office Space on streaming, and so I finally watched that. But, having lived with all of the memes and that attitude being pervasive, it really wasn't
Sam
all
T
that
says
funny.
best trading film ever.
The first one? Should go buy it. I bought Trading Places because that one was about trading, but I was actually disappointed in that film. Unnecessary R-rated scenes in it, not that funny. Blackface. Yeah, you're never going to see that one republished.
Gary Rich says margin call is awesome. Vlad Stolyarov
oh, that
says,
one's available.
Big crowd is good. Sam T says, yep, you gotta watch it, man. Won't regret it.
Margin call's on my list.
Sure, not the second one.
Yeah.
Sam T says, yep, margin call, Big Short, Trading Places.
The Big Short's okay. I have a, who wrote the Big Short? Written by Adam McKay and Charles Randolph. No, so the problem with the Wall Street
Alex DeWudian says
Horsey.
Same guy who wrote Moneyball. RJ Wheel says Traders. A Canadian TV series was good.
Now, Margin Call is on my list, but that one is like, I don't think that my wife would watch that with me, so I just haven't had an opportunity to watch a movie by myself lately. That's why I haven't seen that one. No, the second Wall Street one with Shia LaBeouf, that was just, I mean, like, it was a good movie from a movie perspective, but there was so many problems with the writing in that one. Like, they were obviously trying to make the boss, the dick boss guy, to be Jamie Dimon, but it's like that's not what Jamie Dimon is like at all. And I think that they vastly overstate the way that the incentives and the way that the banks work on some of those things. Like, I it really bothers me because the thing that I think gets misportrayed in the public media is that everybody thinks that, oh, these banks, they're full of evil people. Full of evil people. And the reason that they do all of these evil things is because these people sit and they think, what could be the most evil thing that I could do to screw over the common man today? Ooh, I know. Let's do this security and make this crash and blah, 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 blah.
It's very, very true.
Doesn't work that way. Okay. They're just out to make money, and they follow the strategy and what the robots and risk controllers tell them they can do that will yield the most money. And I don't even think in most cases that these people have a clue what the consequences are going to be. They're just doing what the system says to do. That's the real problem. I got to tell you, when I worked at Gilman, everybody there was really smart, and they cared so much what people thought about them. They really did. They never do anything that they thought would look bad in the eyes of the public.
RJ Wheel says Oliver Stone gets pissed off every time a guy says to him, I changed my major to business because of your film. He meant it as a warning, not a recruitment film.
Right. It's just whatever.
Vlad Stolyarov says path of least resistance is where price tends to go.
You know what's another one that bothers me, but this is one where I think he did it. He did the movie really, really well. Is The Wolf of Wall Street, man. They did such a good job on that, but people don't get it. People don't get it. Like, the whole point of the film is that you're watching the decadence and you're mesmerized by it. The whole thing, it's entertaining. They're like, they did what? It's funny. It's fun. You're into it. And then all of a sudden, all at once, it's supposed to be like, yeah.
Wall Street.
All at once, it's supposed to be like, oh, I've been laughing at and idolizing somebody doing something very evil. Very evil. And then at the very end, you really see it where he's going and he's talking to people. Everybody wants to be like that. It's not just that these guys do bad things. You're all like that. And it's totally true. We all are. It continually astounds me how the things that people that are interested in trading, the things that the content that tends to be popular and the content that doesn't, because the content that tends to be popular is almost always like the worst stuff for you, you know?
Uzi Knesset says we all secretly want to toss midgets in barrels.
Well, that's what Uzi wants to do, I guess. Anyways.
Uzi Knesset says ha ha ha. RJ Wheels says it pissed me off that all along I thought I was cool for snort 8 nanograms coke off a coffee table. Uzi Knesset says Seth like, yeah mumble I do.
I mean, I wouldn't exploit other people, but if the midget was into it and everything, that probably would be pretty entertaining to watch. I don't know.
Gorilla Digits says haha.
Well, I tell you what, guys, the bowl.
Vlad Stolyarov says today, momentum still down.
The bowl here today, not very inspiring.
Gary
not very
Rich says we used to do that. Now we call them little people. Man, times suck. The fun police took it away.
Yeah, all of the stuff that they do in Jackass the movie, like that would never be.
Vlad Stolyarov says 3,300 if the bullfight bear.
Yeah, the thing is the volume is still long though. Like the cumulative delta is still overall long. So I'm really quite surprised after that downturn that the cumulative delta is still long.
Gorilla Digits says short from 3,335.5.
Well, you got a much better spot than I did, friend. Financial Juice got their audio screwed up. They're playing this ECB conference over the thing. I don't think they're intending to. Let me refresh here and just make sure that it wasn't just like a video that had started and was actually that. Oh, it was.
Vlad Stolyarov says slim ribbon telling me sell. Philly Beats You says waiting around 3,318 based on previous RBR.
Well, overall, it looks. I mean, the price movement is
says I put momentum indicators.
Yeah. The problem here is that volume wise, it's not telling. Well, the one thing I did see was that there was quite a bit of absorption there down at the lows. Okay, so there was an area of liquidity that we bounced off of. Now we've bounced off of it, and it's still looking very lackluster here at 33.27. So the short-term price movement's not really telling us much of anything. And the overall price movement since the open is very bearish. But the cumulative delta is there's more buying than there is selling on the more market orders buying than selling, which I find incredibly odd. And then we move down. So and I can't really, it's hard for me to tell, but it does seem, well, let's try and turn on yeah. The flip chart. Yeah, the flip chart. You know what the problem with the flip chart is that they don't show you
stops being hit.
They show you absorption versus pulling, but they don't show them to you separately. So I can't tell 100% if that move down was because the orders pulled. Okay, ECB president is speaking right now. See, like they had a good turn down, and now it's fighting here. Lower end of this is 24. 24 to 29, that's a pretty wide range. But I guess the point is that like so far it's looked really bearish, but there's still a really good possibility of the bulls pulling it out. In fact, given that I'm short, probably that's exactly what's going to happen. It's more buy stops being hit. I can't
after
tell
10
that.
a.m. they trying up again, yeah.
I really wish I could see on a move like that were all those market orders like people just trying to rush with it, or if it was stops, I think there's little nuances in there that could matter, but nobody else seems to agree with me right now. At least nobody else is making a platform, so I guess we wait. I mean, I have a short on here, but I'm kind of looking at this. I don't know if we really have a very good. We can really easily predict what's going to happen here. No. I do see that when we got there at the bottom, that there was not the balance flip. There wasn't like a crazy imbalance. I also see that the imbalance that we do have is quite severe. Oh, you know why? You know why that is? It's because this indicator is set up wrong.
Vlad Stolyarov says I just gonna warn people don't short TSLA.
Max level filter should be 40 and minimal level filter should be 4.
Salim L. Wuthering says at Vlad Stolyarov you are getting somewhere. Vlad Stolyarov says it is best anomaly.
Well, Tesla's been going long. It looks like snow is up today. Sumo, not so much. JVix. VIX is actually higher than it was. Higher than it closed on Friday. Tesla's up but down. 420, of course.
Salim L. Wuthering says Yo Seth, how is family? May God bless them.
They're doing okay, thank you. Okay, and they've fallen out again.
Salim L. Wuthering says Yo Seth, do you believe in God?
Of course. What's going on here in the 10-year? Something's up. I don't know if it's a big something, but that 10-year is much more lively. And I'm not talking movement so much. I mean, it is up 2 ticks. Is that up 2 ticks now? Like there was a 10K iceberg at 20, and they're up a tick and a half now. And the level 2 is moving a lot more. Are we seeing some buyers coming into the treasuries? Are they going to try and really slam down the equity indexes from here? Oh, they're breaking another spot, and they're
Vlad
coming down to
Stolyarov
those
says
lows
NQ
quickly.
trying down.
And the 10-year ticks up. And look, there's 5Ks being left behind. And the overall liquidity is higher than normal. Like everything is, something's up. See, Chewy says, stimulus talks won't lead to anything material ahead of the election. That's what I was worried about, right? I don't know how likely that is because the problem that I have with this stimulus talks that I'm hearing now is I didn't hear a time frame, right? Like I heard that they were leaving this week, and there's Pelosi saying we're going to bring a bill up today and then it will be up for vote tomorrow, and like I didn't hear that, so I'm a little skeptical about what they can get to. Okay, so that was a pretty good downturn, but they pulled that one out, and there was actually an iceberg there. Where was it? 26. So, and some click errors around that same area with bits. So somebody big buying it there, probably. Is it going to fail on him again? Yes. Yeah.
Salim L. Wuthering says iceberg on ZN.
Yeah, there was a pretty big 10K, 11K order at 20, 139.20 in ZN. What about that dollar? Because LaGuard is speaking and the euro could move. This could turn into something. Tough call. We will watch this euro carefully.
Salim L. Wuthering says ZN limits look like they can absorb anything.
Well, 10K is pretty big. You're usually not going to see a larger than a 10K. You'll see a 20K if it's like an auction day. We do have bill auctions today in about 90 minutes. But I doubt that that's what the cause of that was. I think somebody really wanted to buy it. I think that they were hedging for a move in the indexes, but let's see.
Salim L. Wuthering says I see what you mean. But absorptions don't move price.
Well, they
Vlad
prevent
Stolyarov
price
says
from moving, yeah.
11,276 is moving AVG NQ 5 minutes need over that for up push, otherwise momentum is lost. Salim L. Wuthering says on their own.
No. I mean, in this case, I don't know if I can well, actually, I think I can. So we've had a little bit of a turnaround, and the ECB president is speaking, and the equity indexes have been looking a little weak. I think that somebody may be hedging there on the expectation, or, just overall moving some money into treasuries on the expectation that equities aren't going to be able to hold these levels. That's what I think that is. But that's a highly, highly speculative setup. In this situation, I don't really have any hard evidence to help me decide why that's there. And you're right that if they just, what's really going to get this to move is if some of these prices pull. It doesn't look to me at the moment like offers are pulling. They had to trade 4,000 to take it up both of these times, but it did go. They are trying to squeeze them right now at 21.5. There's been enough that have ticked into it that I think that they could probably take another step up. Overall, I would say that this looks very risk off for treasuries, but the E-mini is not necessarily like giving it up yet, is it? So.
Salim L. Wuthering says yup, sounds logical to me.
I guess the reason I care is because I'm wondering if the equities are going to try and turn, but can see oil taking a ride up and gold too. Gold is kind of looking like head and shoulders, actually.
Vlad Stolyarov says Eurobanks bounced our banks up.
Okay. It's that exchange rate that I'm watching. No, it looks bullish.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ pushing over 5 minutes again, buyers want some squeeze.
Well, I did tell you that I don't really think I have any really good setup. This is kind of for fun. Was that the third one? Yeah, it was. So, for practice sake, even though those were all unexperimental, we're just gonna say like we're done. Like I'm.
Salim L. Weathering says at Vlad Stolyarov NQ short-term reversal.
It looks like those bulls still want it.
Vlad Stolyarov says I think the shorts got trapped 11,250 under like noobs again.
Maybe the E-mini is moving up because they want to buy all the things? I don't know if that one makes sense. I don't know, guys. I feel pretty useless right here. We don't really have, I guess LaGuardia is speaking, but I don't think we really have anything to really move us. And the volume itself is kind of telling us some mixed things. I don't think I really have a very good read here. No.
Vlad Stolyarov says stuff I want short are financials airlines TSLA CVXXOM.
Oh, you want short, huh?
Block sell.
How much was it?
Vlad Stolyarov says will not.
It's big. Look at that. He's gonna. Okay. Okay. Wait. Why is it like that? Heck, why not? Get into it. That is just. He wants it for sure. Over here on this one, I will put a stop limit. Open again. Okay. Oh, I have it in workspace. It's not there. Let's look at this one. Well, it's going hard there. And there's no way that order is going to get filled. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
Winston's mom says 42 watching now. Please take a second to hit the like button. Thank you. And traders gonna trade. Mugs are a terrific idea also.
Thank you, Win. We got a lot of people watching today. So I'm feel disappointed that I haven't been able to show you guys anything cool.
Vlad
Like,
Stolyarov says 11,319 NQ to watch.
I've taken some simulated trades on like the experimental account, which basically means I really don't have a lot of confidence in where it's going to go. But okay, so there's the E-mini finally taken off. Ooh, that's a little excessive. Well, if they were to come back to 33, I suppose that I could go
Vlad
short.
Stolyarov says it's a game here.
What are the chances of that happening now after that, right? It's pretty excessive.
MISS says GG.
What's going on here? This the way
Vlad
that it's
Stolyarov
moved up
says
there.
tick went extreme.
Yeah, the way that it moved up there is really curious given what the treasuries are doing. That's
Salim L. Wuthering says you, Seth, you are right.
I don't know if I'm right about
Vlad
anything.
Stolyarov says I see liquidity.
Am I right about anything here? I don't. I can see what the treasury is
Philly
doing,
Beats
but
you says
I
incoming
don't.
3348 3361.
There was at no point there where I was
Stolyarov
saying
says 44 plus to fill.
Go long. They're going to break the overnight high and run 10 points. No,
Philly Beats
that
you
was really
says bull
excessive.
trap.
Really excessive. I don't know if it was a bull. I wouldn't know if I could call it a bull trap. Like, here's the thing. The thing that's interesting or unusual here again is that even though we had some pretty nasty sells and everything, the cumulative delta has been all long. And now they're pushing well up above their stops. So I don't know, man. If they continue through from here, then I really got to wonder I really feel clueless about what's going on, and I have to wonder about if we're getting shady action, like more of this out of the money call stuff, SoftBank, or the possibility of a stimulus is way better than we thought, or the stimulus is way more helpful than we thought, like because the degree to which it is moving is well beyond any parameters that I can see about how it should move. So Linda said that SoftBank was in billions in calls since March. Well, I'm sure that there are. I don't even know if they're still in doing that stuff or not. I bet you that Tesla. No, they didn't. Tesla did not move on that one. Whoops. This one should be Apple. What else could we put out there? What's been doing well lately? Well, let's just put a bank in here for now. I want to see what the banks are doing. Okay, so banks are looking okay today. Apple is not. Well, what's pushing it? I don't know, guys. This is a real freak of an up move. I'm not sure I can find a fundamental catalyst for it. Be really hard to sell that, right? I am getting a lot of things suggesting that they can't hold that for very long, but selling that is a fool's errand, man. Ooh, do I have the... yes, I do. Ah. Okay, so I want to add a bunch of rules here. Planning something out that I want to write for you guys. So I was thinking, no, the president's still speaking. I was thinking, you really, to have edge is competitive. You have to have something over other people. And this is where it's like, especially if you're taking a technical analysis strategy, it's really hard to have edge over other people with that. Because if a strategy really works really well, it'll become popular, and all of the edge will just get arbitraged out, right? Well, so that would mean that you don't ever want to share anything with anybody, right? You would never want to share anything with anybody. But you can't do it all alone, I'm finding. How do you balance that, right? I've been thinking about, I have a lot of things that I've done, but like, what have I done recently? Like the last time that I did something that I think really helped you guys out was that VIX indicator that we put out there, right? So what have we done lately? And I've been talking about making this risk management thing for a long time. I really think we should do it. So I'm looking here about what kind of information I can pull. And I want to make it, I think that what we're going to do, is make like a rule set. Okay. So I think that we want to say, percent dollars. I might think Baby Asher qualifies as being done recently. Has that helped you guys out? Has that made your trading better? True edge is internal. Nobody can copy your individual perception. But how do you know that your individual perception actually has edge? And why does your individual perception have edge? They rolling over here? Well, like let's just say we take it short here. It may yet go down more, but I think it's going to be tough. By the way, we're waiting for Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index is going to come out here. I forgot about that too. That's not one that normally matters a whole lot. So I'm thinking I want to make this thing be like a little control center in your NinjaTrader control center. Oh, here comes the number. It's 13 versus 8. Yeah, this is why you don't short them. Will Martin go into this? the sim account, anyways. Okay, I think that there was some other stuff that I wanted to add into it. So I think that I want to be able to do is say, okay, I want to add a rule, and when this thing happens, show me an alert and tell me that I'm stupid. Okay, so if the daily P&L, that's like losses for the day, by a dollar amount or by a percent of your portfolio. Number of losses in a row, what your overall account balance is. Oh, total number of trades. Oops. So if I've taken like more than 100 trades, you don't want to keep trading it, right? Have any of my strategies taken? Market depth bot did take one. It's a loser, looks like. Small accounts under 25K should stick under 2% loss for a day and should rarely happen. Well, that's the whole thing. Is it so? I want to set it in. You can set a rule. I don't know if it's wise for me to make it so that it will stop you from trading, but it will send you an alert. It'll show you something. It'll make your indicator. It'll show you stuff. Is the volatility low? I'd say overall it's somewhat more constrained than it was last week, but I mean that up move was pretty violent. I was just using that was just an example, Gary.
Block sell.
That was just an example. I was saying, if you've taken a ton of trades and you're still trading and you're not winning, then maybe you should stop. Right? So I want to set it to say if you've taken X number of trades that day, it should send you a warning. I want you to be able to set up a rule for yourself to say, after X number of trades, show me a warning. And the whole idea here is you're going to be able to set it up for whatever you want. So I think that we should be able to set it up to be per instrument or per account. And I also think that we should have filters. So like if I've taken 100 trades but I've made money for the day, then it won't send me a warning. But if I've lost money, then it will. I need a guy with a shovel to keep me from holding losers. Okay, so time in a trade. There's a rule, whatever the initial margin is, look for 1% and risk 5% loss in X time period on your initial margin used. So you would use set up an ATM strategy for that, right? I'm kind of looking for things beyond individual trade. Or beyond things that you can't set up in ATM strategies, right? Oh, by the way, we fell back down pretty hard. Okay. Oh, did I? I did. Wait, really? That is so. Just terrible. QuantiQuant says expectancy. I don't know what you mean by that. Your win percentage? How would we do that? So maybe you could sit down and you could say, if I've taken 10 trades and I don't have a certain win rate, then I should stop. So I think that this should be win rate right here as a filter. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is like each of these is going to be a column. So I'm going to have like a thing. I'll have a list of rules, and each of these will be a particular selection choice in the column. Right? So you can say, so for that one, you could say if total trades is greater than 100 on this instrument and the win rate is less than a certain amount, then send a warning. Well, now that we're down here and it's like dumb to sell it, let's try it. And they'll go and stop that one out too. Fight isn't over. Yeah, I mean, here's this place where maybe they'll try and hold it again. I don't know. Usually I don't do too well on Mondays. Well, there was a little slip there. No, these are sim orders, guys. Don't worry. If I was trading this live right now, I would ask. You guys should be asking me to stop for sure. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So one of the things is that it's off sync, right? Like if I flipped around and went long here, what are the chances that they go back down and stop me out? It's actually probably pretty likely, right? Yeah. Now that 10-year one coming back the way that it did is interesting too. I think though that what's going to happen in the 10-year is that it's going to pop back up. Now we're getting really finicky action, huh? Because that was a pretty good rush up. I wasn't hearing any news that could have been news, and now it comes back. Donald Trump, but Joe Biden just announced that he will not agree to a drug test. What? Oh, and Donald Trump is retweeting it too, huh? That was 8 minutes ago, though. I missed that one. Well, even though that came back, I think there's probably, it might still stop me out. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So let's see. Are there any other qualifications that we think we should put in our risk management system? I think that should be good. So now the next question is are we allowed to actually make a control center tab? NinjaTrader 8 add-on control center tab. I don't think we can. At least from this post there in 2017, it sounds like you can't. It would have to be its own window, which is okay. I guess that's probably okay, but for some reason, I seem to think that you could. I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Well. So now I'm kind of thinking the code out here a little bit. How I'm gonna. Oh, my depth short took a couple of trades there now. Finally. Break even mostly though. Okay. Well, this could completely flip back all the way down. Look at him go. Depth went short again. Need to pull this up so I can see why is it doing that. Oh, well, it should be. It's curious. There was a lot of action up there. Now, interestingly enough, as we've been falling back down, the treasuries haven't really recovered. I think that the balance, the balance between buyers and sellers must be a little bit more even than I originally realized, and they're going to have a real battle here. But that must mean that buyers, I don't know though, because it is like there's buy, sell, buy was higher, sell so far hasn't been lower. They flip back around. They could go for a new high. It's totally possible that they actually have things on their side that much. I have to say that move down there below 32 was pretty. Did it actually go below 32? It went to 32. But now it's bounced back up here again. That's something else. See if they held this or if they decide to go back down again. So there's a little bit of push. Oh, okay. So you can say a little bit of pushing and iceberging there, but nothing too dramatic. Sorry, I haven't been reading your messages, but well, when you see this kind of flinging back and forth action, you know that probably a lot of retail traders are going to lose money, right? Because I believe that one of the main reasons why it moves the way that it does in a situation like this is to try and trigger as many retail stops as possible. So they don't necessarily know that you're all long, but they do know that they need to move in more than 16 ticks, right? It's going short again, huh? But it took it all the way down to there for it to want to take it. That's interesting. That one might not work. Okay, well, we're back to the open again. It's a little bit slower this time. I was kind of wondering. I'm like, I'm not doing so well today. So somebody decided to send a bunch of people. Oh, hey, Seth is not doing so well today. I'll come and watch. I guess I'm doing okay now. it's a Monday. I mean, come on. It's annoying me. This NQ needs to flush. Well, tell you what. I didn't think that they would be so quiet there at the open. Well, I'm sure that he can make it back. I was not worried about other people. I mean, I think there could be more downturn in this. Definitely cumulative delta wise. This has come back on almost no real change in cumulative delta. But there is a definite sell program out there sticking some pretty heavy liquidity on it. This is the exact situation that my robot was set up to try and take advantage of, and it's working. There's just a really big offer has popped up. Well, since we have so many people watching today, I just want to point out I am making a little risk control center here. So hopefully I'll have some time maybe tomorrow night to work on it off stream. But that's definitely something, come back and check. So I would encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon, because if you use the bell icon, then YouTube will give you notifications when we go live. So if you want to come and hang out with us every morning while we're trading, it's kind of more than anything just to have some company around. And we have a pretty consistent group of guys every morning. So if you click the bell icon, that's what most of our regular viewers do. And then you'll know when I put that risk control center up, I'll make a video about it. And it's going to be free and everybody will be able to use it. So that's exciting. And we're also going to stream the debates. If you're not into politics or you're a Democrat, then you probably won't want to watch me. But it'll be fun. I'm really excited about the debates. Okay. Well, so they pushed down another pretty good push, but you notice that the pullbacks are deep on this. So is that buyers digging in? I have to wonder at 33.26 what happens. 33.26 is kind of this spot. So there is a possibility that we'll bounce there. I don't know how likely it is. This move being completely retraced is really what do I even say? I guess I want to say unusual. Usually a move that magnitude doesn't get completely retraced. I don't know if it's bearish or not. It seems to me like that overall that there's a pretty good reason for them to be selling still, because they're pretty extended from the overnight. On the other hand, I don't really see the buyers pushing it. You know what I mean? They don't. There is a good offer there, but they just don't seem hyper aggressive to me. It kind of slipped. There's a big pullback. This looks to me more like longs fighting really hard and losing over and over again, you know? Type something into you guys there for Discord. I guess another thing that we're working on is I have a whole suite of indicators, like these histograms, for instance, being a good example, that we're going to make available to channel subscribers. So if you join the channel, I have a $1 subscription that's just for you guys that want the smileys. But I think we're gonna sell some of these other ones, and the reason we're doing that is like I was saying, you need more than just you, and I think that for me to really go where I want to go, I think I'm gonna need help from all of you guys, and so putting the indicators out there kind of makes it available to you so that you can talk about what you like and don't like about them, and how we can change them to pull more edge out of them. And that also allows us to fund investigation into other stuff like market by order data and things like that. Do you know that non-US people can't subscribe? Well, I'm sure that you can subscribe, but maybe you can't join the channel. I don't know. I don't know how that works. If that's the way it works, I'm sorry. I think the way that we're going to set that up is you'll be able to download the indicators and trial them for 2 weeks. And then, yeah. But I'm waiting on some more information from Ninja Trader. So Government says J.P. Morgan's precious metals trading desk. Oh, they're down. They didn't actually give a number. So they were charging the J.P. Morgan guys of spoofing in the metals market, but I haven't heard like how much money they actually think that they got in ill-gotten gains. I'd like to know. Too bad I wasn't trading the metals markets. I could sue them for compensation. Well, they've made an attempt to kind of hold it, push it back above the open. They've kind of had a hard time holding it. It is slow, though. Treasuries are ticking back up. They are ticking back up. Should do that, by the way. Okay. When I get off stream, I'm going to build that interface for us. Should get some good stuff. I'm going to want 2 sections. I think I want one section to be rules, and then I want one section to be stats. So I've got to think about how I'm going to do the stats part. But I would like something that I could put, maybe even I could put it here, that would show you a little bit better how we've been doing, Okay. Okay, so buyers pushing a slight pivot higher and coming back to that middle zone on the EMAs and so forth. For them to not get to 32.26 would be very disappointing, I think. It's a little weird that they were that short. Well, okay. Okay, whatever. You see it, like, when it comes down, like, look at the liquidity. It was only trading like 50s and 60s there. Nobody's holding it at all. They are getting long, and the market makers are just letting it happen. I believe in the order, but you're a part of the quote cult. Then another extreme tick down. Well, I'm just noticing that this overall level 2 imbalance that kind of caused the move down has kind of disappeared for now. I don't really know. Can't really say what it's going to do. It's fairly balanced here again. That doesn't mean that it's going to reverse. It's a possibility, though. Possible that they reverse and then they try and push them all the way up to, geez, they could go up to 44, actually. Overall, even though we've gotten some ugly drops on the sells, the buyers are trying to pull it out. And it is kind of like a little bit of an ascending triangle here. You can see, though, that they're just even the open. And overall, there's still not a lot of volume trading. This is really, really slow for the E-mini, isn't it? It makes me wonder, because so it is so funny, but so we normally will get about 32 viewers or whatever. Getting close to 50 today. So by the way, thank you guys for watching. I'm not doing anything particularly special today, so I guess it's just random that we have a lot of people viewing. But I find it weird that it's on a day when the E-mini is relatively tight and confusing that we're getting this. A lot of people interested in it. I guess maybe a lot of people are interested in it because of the election. That could be. Yes, takes the fun off everything. Nah, you people that are trading the NQ. You NQ people. You're crazy. That's what you are. You're crazy. I think you're crazy. I can't trade that thing. YouTube is picking, that would be great. But it wasn't, sometimes I do well and sometimes I don't do well. And I'm just happy that people enjoy interacting with us enough to watch. I always get concerned about like, what if YouTube picks us up and we become super popular, and then it's like, Sept is the new day trading futures guru, and it's like, no, I don't want to be called a guru, please. You need StarCraft. You need more than that, man. You need to not be human. You said that without an algo. There you go. I think you want to trade NQ, don't be human. So if there's any like hyper intelligent raccoons out there, then maybe the NQ might be your instrument. But for the rest of us, probably just gonna lose money trading that thing. For me, your comments on the markets help me shape my trading strategies. So are you saying that you're fading everything that I say? Is that what you're saying, trader? I feel like it's been fighting me. Like those first couple, it fought me really hard. This one, I actually did get a runner. So if this one comes back, it's just I didn't take the profits. But I want 26. Yeah, I don't know. I need to adjust my profit taking strategy for sure. I don't know what to do about it. You guys all thought that one was funny. Oh, man. It was just like last Monday, man. Oh, my gosh. Don't go and watch that video. Like, seriously, just don't go and watch it. I was so freaking pissed. Literally every single trade. It was like, how is that possible? Like seriously? How is that possible? But there was ones that I caught, just like this one. They're runners and they come back on you. Oh, so annoying. See, and this is not, like, at this point, I think I'm to the point where I kind of have to give up on it. Well, let's take some off. I really should have done that a lot earlier. But I'm always been looking for my targets. I haven't been good at figuring out some sequential profits. So I think we need to do some work in that area. Sometimes I learn the most on my losing days. Well, what I learned on that losing day is that I still have this problem where I'll have a day that's just absolutely terrible, or a week, time period that's absolutely terrible. So today, just to be clear and honest with you guys, these aren't live trades that we're doing right now because it's a Monday, eve of the presidential election. And if I was trading live, I think I probably would have liked those first two, and then I should have given up at least, because that doesn't appear that I have a super good read in this. Even though we took some longs, they haven't been paying out. Well, didn't even fill that little spot we had there. But look, when it comes down, it just did it. I don't get what's happening there. A really odd action. When I'm losing, it's usually because of greediness. Shake my head. Yeah. If your channel becomes a futures guru, I will get a exchange that boy chain. Oh, jeez. Don't do that to yourself, Gary. I mean, it could happen. I don't think that it should happen, but it could happen. I just don't want to be considered a guru. It's just like, maybe I trade well in a certain market. It doesn't mean that I'm going to understand the next market really well. Yeah, that's the issue that I have with true gurus is I think they are claiming an expertise on the market that isn't really possible to have. You know what I mean? Or don't let me put it that way, because they might know a lot about the market, and so absolutely they're worth listening to and things like that. But I think that the public thinks of it as like, if I follow this guy, I'm going to make money, and nobody can give you that. That's why I don't want to be considered like that. Look at that. It pushes up. You're getting a lot of weird sweeps. Now that one, you notice there was a little bit more resistance on that one, on that up move. And there was a 285, 33, 36.75. It comes back. But look, then he fights. Okay, so there does appear to be some buyer of some sort that's trying to kick it up there at 36. Oh, well, I think he gave up on that one. Actually, wait, really? I don't think it should be taking that one, but okay. The funny thing about gurus is they keep growing on YouTube ads like mushrooms, right? Dude, I just don't get it. Like, dude, are a lot of people actually buying these ads and buying some of these programs? Because some of when I go and I actually read it, like all of the ones that I've looked at, I've done quite a bit of research on this actually, because I'm thinking about making a movie or a video about it. I kind of feel like, I don't know, because I had a blowout day. I just feel really unworthy. But I want to make a video that's making fun of all of these guys on the ads. And like, if you do any kind of research about them, it's pretty clear that you're not getting anything for your money. Like, there's this one, it's this lady, and it's just like day trading mom. Okay, like good marketing, amazing marketing, but her strategies is no. Her strategy is basically finding gappers, and like it's a strategy that, as far as I can tell, not that I've backtested that specifically, but just kind of backtesting overall in general, it doesn't have a positive expectancy. Like when you lose bad. And she actually did make money, or maybe some of her students have made money, but what they're doing is it's like you get lucky and you have this one winner that is so much bigger than everything else. And then, White Rationalist says gurus are people who gave up trying to trade. By the way, Rationalist, I appreciate your comments on my video the other day. Well, I mean, that might be to some extent. But here's like the thing that I'm going at, because I have a number of indicators that I've written that I'm trading with. This one in particular, I find so incredibly effective. Doesn't tell you what is going to happen, but it does give you a much better picture of what is happening, right? Sellers had it. They weren't able to push it very far. Buyers took it, stopped out the sellers, way overextended, came back, and now it looks like buyers have control again. Are you talking about, I'm not going to use names, but yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I don't think that that just drives me crazy. Like, the thing that drives me crazy about it, guys, is that they'll come in and they say, "Oh, it's so easy, even my kids can do it." Bullshit. Let's have your kid take $20,000 and start day trading it, for a month, stream it live, see how they actually do. Because I think that's bullshit. And it makes me mad when people try to portray day trading as this easy thing. I've done all of the work for you, and all you have to do is follow what I tell you to do, and you'll make money. It doesn't work like that. The nature of the market means that can't work. Any strategy that is sufficiently popular The edge will be arbitraged away. To have edge, you have to have edge over other people, and that means that you cannot buy a course that is popular and make money from it. You have to go and learn how the market works and watch it and come up with your own strategy that gives you an advantage over other people, which is very difficult to do, and most people aren't going to do it. And I have found that there might be situations where I understand enough about the market that I do have that advantage, but it is not something that is guaranteed. And I think that's probably always going to be the case. That your, edge will come and go based on how favorable the market is to you and how well you understand it, and maybe a little bit of luck. You know what I mean? Stop trying to be a missionary and save others? Nah. I want people to trade off of shit that works. Like, when you have all these people that are chasing momentum, not only are they losing money, but you're making the market less efficient, essentially. Right? Like, if people gave up on all of these but what is basically divination? Okay. Like that's the thing. These big institutional traders, they love it. They love it. They want you to chase momentum. They want you to use technical indicators that don't actually work. Why? That is liquidity for them. They want as many people in there as possible so they can stir it around, get all of the contracts that they need, and then make the move happen that they need to have happen. They love it. And if retail traders stop falling for these stupid scams, then the day traders that are really working hard and understand the markets and the news and everything else, they'd have a much better chance of being able to be successful. That's what I think. I'm naming one. I just don't want to talk about, other creators to be, specifically by name or anything, but I really should avoid doing that. But it just makes me mad because when you say stop being a missionary and trying to save others, like, no, because here's the thing. It's both. There is a contradiction here in edge, because to have edge, you have to have edge over other people. It's competitive. It means that you're better at it. You have a better idea of what's going to happen in that situation than other people do, right? But you can't do it alone. I can't create, I don't have the resources to create market data, right? Most of you guys don't have the knowledge and resources to create, your own indicators or a risk management system. Apparently nobody has that, so we're going to make that. You need assistance. Every one of you, whether or you realize it or not, has a team behind you. You've got a broker. You've got the people for your data team that are providing your data provider. You've got your platform provider. And that was people that spent a lot of time to help you to make it so that you can even participate in this market, right? You can't do it by yourself. You really can't. And so when I see things like that out there, and especially because those are the things that tend to be popular, I'm thinking, okay, so there's all these traders out there that could maybe be a part of our community and could maybe help and contribute and help us collaborate to create more edge and be profitable, that their money is basically taken away from them and they don't go anywhere with it. And that's why it makes me mad. It's like, of course there's some people that are stupid, but most people are just people, and I think that you say, oh, boo-hoo. Well, there's a thing. You could sit down and you could just say, well, we're all screwed. They're all going to lose money. Or we can flip the tables on them. And that's what I think we should be doing. I think that retail traders should be getting together, working together so that we can, because in reality, we should have the advantage over them. They need us. They need somebody to provide the liquidity, right? If the retail traders knew, if they knew what they were doing and we gained together, it would be much harder for them because we would know, hey, no news. Why should we move this market? Or, there's this big guy who's clearly stuck in a position. Let's squeeze him. You can't do that right now because the retail traders are so clueless. We need to build them up. Most people are just people. It's true though. So here's another thing I was thinking about yesterday. Because here's the thing. I think I'm pretty smart. Like, I know that sounds like the dumbest thing to hear from somebody, but I think I'm pretty smart. But I've found that anytime I try to go into something with the premise being, I'm going to be good at this because I'm smarter than other people, it never works out. And I've never seen a person that goes into something with the idea of that and they win out. Like think about, man, there's so many. Mitt Romney is a really good example of this. Mitt Romney's claim has always been, I'm smarter than everybody else. How well did that work out for him? Being smart's not the only thing, right? In fact, I'm realizing that in a lot of these things that when you're smart, but you're still a person. And so you still fall victim to all of the same shit that ruins everybody else. And all that being smart does is make you more arrogant and take on more risk and less likely to admit that you're wrong when you're wrong, Have this $10,000 I want to trade here. Let me give it to someone with a website so they can teach me to draw trend lines. Well, it sounds so ridiculous to you and me, but to a regular person, it's not. Because to the regular person, they've been taught, all you have to do is see the pattern in the market, and then you'll be successful. Somebody just has to tell you what the pattern is. You and we've been doing this for years and years, and we've tried every pattern in the book, and we know that they don't work. You know what I mean? Do you think you can outsmart the market? I don't think so. I think that there are situations when I might know better than the majority of market participants what are going to happen. Yes, there are some cases, but not always. And it's really hard to know when that actually is and when it's not, Like when you think you really got something and when you really don't. Clearly, just that, as an example for today, it's a Monday. I have no clue what's going to happen. I was really liking that short, but not going to be going too well right now, is it? You're smart at everything, but not one particular thing. That might be the case. More than anything right now, I feel like I really just don't have a whole lot of self-control in certain situations, Like, there's the thing is like, I've never considered myself to be somebody particularly high in emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? Like, I think I took Adderall as a kid, kind of suppresses your emotion. Well, I'm not as in tune with that as most people are. So when I'm on tilts, I don't have a clue. I'm not tilted right now because it's not real money. But clearly, I don't really have much of an edge in this market. And why should I? It's Monday, nothing's happening. Does seem like it's still kind of bullish, but I don't know if this bull is going to make a new high or if they're going to turn around and make, really push selling now. Could happen. When I'm down $2,000, I know I'm on tilt. Well, the thing that I find so troublesome is you'll be on tilt and then you just keep going anyways. Like the thing that I've trained myself really bad. I've taken on a bad habit here, right? I know that I'm on tilt and I'll keep trading it. Right? I'll know that I'm just doing poorly. Did you know that when you get angry, that your IQ like drops 10 points? Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say it like that because let me start over. I was told by some guy on TikTok. No, it sounds dumb, doesn't it? Oh, we should research, but apparently getting angry actually can affect your thinking significantly. I think that we all can agree with that, right? What are you going to do that's going to stop you when you're on that? Because it's going to happen to everybody. And I haven't figured that out. I definitely haven't figured that out. That says I believe so. It's frustrating here. Oh yeah. Dude, last Monday I was mad, man. I was really mad. I mean, I kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play it up for you guys. But I was mad. I was truly frustrated. I don't think I've ever been that frustrated trading. I can just feel it, like you take it and it goes the wrong way, and you can just feel the cortisol flow through my body, like you sinking feeling. It's just sucks so bad. Cortisol. I think it's the feeling of, you ever been like when you're going to school and you get into your backpack to pull out the assignment and you realize that you left it at home, and all of a sudden there's like you can like there's like a sound associated with it, and you can just feel like that chemical go through your whole body. You're getting stressed out like as you realize something really bad, a really bad sinking feeling. I believe that is the feeling of cortisol being released into your blood. I hate it. That's when I know. When it's like I take the trade and it's going, and immediately I feel stressed out about it. The problem is that like you're gonna take losses, right? So you can't get that every time that you lose. So a lot of the time when I get into that, I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna try and push through. But then what happens is then you get on tilt and you just keep making bad decisions. So I don't know what to do about it. Well, we're gonna try this risk control system. That's our next step. That's our next step. Moment I hit a wall with my head accidentally, also adrenaline. Okay, so we're going to get the bill auctions here in a second. We'll see what happens. Maybe our treasuries will pop up for us. Where is 37? Find it odd, like where I got in at and everything shouldn't matter, but it's spent a lot of time there, hasn't it? It looks like my depth robot is trying to trade it there again and losing. Yeah. He's lost 20 bucks. Well, that's actually not bad for the E-mini. So he's really only lost like 2 ticks. Well, he's lost commissions, basically. Is that where I think that's coming from? We'll see this release, and then it'll be time to shut things down. Fix the mental and emotional when trading, or you will be yet on arrival. Well, I mean, and this is the other thing, is that you can't. I mean, so I think a lot of people seem to think that you can be immune to emotions, but that's not the case, right? I think that you kind of have to be able to acknowledge when you're in a certain state and be able to shift yourself back into the state that you need to be in. Still waiting on the release. It's been over a minute, so that means the auction's going a little longer than normal, I think. There sure seems to be quite a spread going on here. Nubitin says, I feel a bit distracted watching other training. Yeah. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't like to try and be like, you should trade the way that I am, right? It's just to talk and have company. So, and I totally understand that a lot of people, it's too distracting. Like when we were doing Discord, like we would do Discord and we would talk. It was just too much, man. Was not very effective. Still waiting. Okay, so the 3-month bill in line with the previous. Yeah, both of them in line. And there's E-Mini taking another little run there and clicking. Oh, I'm thinking about this, like, how should I have tried to play this? I really tried to ride that short too much, for one thing. But I'm wondering, like, earlier than that. Because the place where I tried shorting it was right, but just a little bit early. There's a stop out, probably. And the treasury's not really moving yet. I should have come in knowing today would just be traders and that those longs would be really trying hard. Even though there doesn't seem to be a fundamental reason to be moving anywhere. It was a little bit more extreme than I could have possibly anticipated, though. So let's mark that down, that really on the long side, we really need to start expecting that a little bit more because it keeps happening. I have no clue what you guys are talking about now. Okay, well. That's it. So I guess we're done. So today was a dumpster fire of a day. Like a real dumpster fire of a day. All on sim. But tomorrow is gonna be the election. Gonna be fun. So I'll see you guys then. What should we call today's video? Should we give it like the most boring name ever since we had so many viewers and we know that it's going to try and attract a bunch of people, so we should give it a really terrible title. Dumpster Fire Day. Day traders are going to have those things. It was an awful Monday. I hate Monday. I hate Monday trading. That's what today's title is. Like, good grief. POS. I feel like it. Shit. Today's tampon session. You know what, Gary? You're not helpful. Okay. Not helpful right now. Anyways, I'm gonna take them on. I have a great video, and I hope it makes a difference because I wanna end this. I think that it has to happen at some point, and we're gonna do it. So,
See you tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable.